Hey guys, so this is video 3 and I'm gonna be talking about alliteration. So I'm gonna read the first line I found alliteration in, and I want you to kind of think about the words I am reading and tell me what words you find are the alliteration words and why you think what you think those words could mean. And swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. So that's the first line when I read this that I found alliteration in. It also was a big tongue twister. But anyway, so line 4 was where I found it, and I found the 4 words were swim, shore, strokes, sight. Now, those words to me, when I read them, I was like, okay, so swim, shore, strokes, sight. I just kind of repeated them like, okay, so what could all those mean? How could they relate back to her wanting somebody who wants to work? I came up with maybe it's trying to say being committed and confident when it comes to your work makes someone the speaker loves the best. Like, so you have to be committed to your work, but you also have to have confidence. You can't be like, well, I did the work, I worked super hard, but I don't think it's gonna work out, which I'm like that. I'm like, okay, I did the work, I worked super hard on it, but I don't ever believe that I do it right. So line 4, the alliteration kind of to me means you gotta be confident as much as you are committed to that assignment. And then if you look at line 10, I found alliteration in that line. Who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward. So the 3 words that kind of create the alliteration in that line was mud, muck, and move. And I kind of thought I didn't have to repeat them as much because, like, I mean, we're all kids, so we've all been in the mud and maybe probably pretty high up to like our knees when you're little. And you know it's hard to walk through it. So I was like, okay, so when you're walking through mud, it can be hard sometimes. So I kind of thought maybe she's telling us even though we are confident in our work, it might mean we have to work even if we are confident in our work, we have to work through the hard parts just as much as we do through the easy parts, because a lot of people take the easy route and are still as confident, but they're working as well. And then people who are confident enough to go through the hard work and do it, I think that gives a person a more selfless kind of factor, so it makes them more hardworking, but it shows how selfless they can be also. That was the alliteration that kind of spoke to me throughout this poem. Of course, there's probably more that somebody else has found, and by all means, you can go ahead and find those and kind of, but when you do, make sure you find a good way to relate them back to the title of To Be of Use, which, when you do read this poem, it's about working. It's about work. At least to me, it's about work. Okay, so